Oh, wait a second. All right. How are we doing, everybody? Thank you for coming to our Vocoder V First Insights video, live stream, I should say. Today we're going to listen to the quality and the live stream features of the Vocoder V, and of course it comes in the V Collection 8. All 28 instruments are encompassing in the pack. It's on an intro. What is it? Till January 10th, intro price. And yeah, we're good to go. This is Whitney Tai, my amazing singer and songwriter friend.
Hi, Ian. Thank you. Thank you, Arturia, for having me.
From Los Angeles.
It's good to be here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. It's going to be an amazing show. This Vocoder V is absolutely incredible. Let's see here. It's taken us a second to get the whole system running, and this session is incredible. I mean, it's called Starfish, right?
Yeah, this is Starfish.
Yeah.
It's off of our new record, Apogee.
Signal going through the vocals, of course, through the drums, through the instruments, through how you can import MIDI, samples. I mean, this thing is a monster, okay? In lack of better words. It's something that I've found to be useful in almost every production. You know, it can also replace some auto-tune signals as well. And so yeah, basically we'll show you how the vocoder works, how to accept signal, you know, how to play samples, and how to get the shape of the sound of the instrument, because that's very important too, to get the sibilance, to get the intelligibility of the sound. And yeah, let's dive right in. The question is, what is a vocoder? Well, if you can see here, this is a recreation of an amazing vocoder. Of course, as you know, Arturia has 20 years of experience running recreations from everything from the ARC 2600 to all of our virtual instruments, our effects collection. The proprietary TAE technology is something, is one of a kind. You know, it's the quality in which everything is recreated is super sensitive and super, I don't know, is very top notch. I guess just say that. What is a vocoder? Well, what you're looking at is a modulator, which is the input in which you're putting into the signal, which is a vocal, an instrument signal, yeah, and then of course the carrier, which is the synth, which applies to the modulator. Okay, so there's two signals running really. It's your input signal. You can see here on the screen, you know, there's a voice input here and a synth signal here, and you're kind of mixing the two signals to create what you want, right? So we're going to show some presets here as well. You can see the subtleness in creating a layer of thickness behind an actual harmony or a hook line or even a lead line, or you can go all out crazy and get a completely robotic effect. And so without further ado, if you want to show us this amazing solo.
And that's something that my producer and I do often too. Like if we want to thicken a vocal, we will bring in a vocoder preset. And with these new ones, what I really love about the Vocoder V collection is that the interesting amount of harmonics, depending on which preset you're choosing, can give you a much more intelligible sound. And there's a lot to choose from. There's some if you want to have more of that.
There's lots.
You know,
yeah, lots of presets already in the system.
An intercepted sound or something more intelligible, which is really great.
Yeah, and I'll be getting into the details of the vocoder here in a second, but yeah.
So check. So I'll throw in a little Blackstreet for you. Don't leave me, girl. Please stay with me tonight. Ooh. Don't leave me, girl. Please stay with me too.
Nice. Very cool, very cool, very cool. All right, so that's one of the sounds you can kind of get from something that's so legendary. There's a million sounds to get from this synth.
And that particular
instrument.
sound was called "Beat on My Mind."
Beat on My Mind.
So
This
if you
is
like
a preset.
that.
Yes, it's called Beat on My Mind in the vocal library, as you can see here. There's a bunch of different vocal presets to choose from. I mean, I don't know how many that is, but it's a heck of a lot. You've got presets going from the sequences, pads, organs, keys, electric piano, drums, and we'll get into that in a little bit, and you'll see some pretty amazing stuff. Let's get into it. So if you look at the synth now, it's pretty much a regular synth as far as how the signal is going through. You have your waveforms, your two oscillators, your waveforms as far as triangle, sawtooth, square, noise. The shape enables you to kind of increase how much of that characteristic you want from that waveform. Frequency is, of course, if you want to go up in semitones and create a higher tone or a lower tone from what you're just playing itself as well, and create different variations. It creates the thickness. If you kind of play with the sync and the FM, it's pretty cool. It creates more harmonics and more deeper harmonics or higher end harmonics. Let's see what else we got. Level, of course. How much of that level of oscillator you want. You can mix these two oscillators together to create your kind of your raw, the voice, the vocal, or the input, I should say, input release, or attack and release, and the attack and release from the synth. So this is going to carve that sound from the synth itself. Now you have an ensemble as well, which is like a really cool chorusing, widening effect. Really, really cool. We'll show that in a little bit. Let's see here. And then a master tune, which is like in every synth. You can create a master tune versus the frequency tuning on the individual oscillators. You can create the master tune on the whole synth. Now if we go up here into the first panel, hope I'm not going too fast. I'll try and slow down, actually. So the attack and release are encompassed for the input there, the little headphone button. Now you have a 16-band graphic. It's kind of like a graphic EQ, but it's more like a patch bay, right, as you can see. Each one of these faders you can maneuver up and down to create your EQ, right? There's various types of EQs on this whole system, and I'll explain that. But these patches are pretty interesting, where you go out of the top into the bottom, and you can actually create your own connections. Now, mind you, if none of them are connected, every single band is selected, every single band is active. Now, if you actually are plugging in from the top to the bottom, only that one signal is going to be present. Okay, so let's see here. Only one signal is going to be present. So it's going to sound very thin if you have one connection. If you see here where it says blank, there's actually different clusters. You can create your own and move them around. I mean, however you want to do it, and get as crazy as you want to get. But those are just another way to create a different type of sound than what you're already getting from the blank signal. So this thing is completely customizable. You can sit here for hours and create your own presets, create your own shapes and sounds. And then you have the high frequency here, which is basically boosts up to, I think it's 5K and above your level here. And that'll create more sibilance, and this will help shape your tone so it's more intelligible, so you can hear what's happening, what somebody's saying in the robot voice. You can go to switched, which will switch if it reaches a certain level, reaches 5K, then it'll bump up the high frequency, or direct will always be present. Okay, and there's hiss and buzz here, which enables you to have more of a mid-range tone in the buzz signal, more of a hissing tone in the left, fast and slow. Then you got your mix. You can dry it out, have a wet signal with the vocoder, and then master volume, which you'll be using a lot to create how much of that signal you get, comparing to what your actual input is getting.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
New addition. I mean, just the amount of control and how intuitive the panel is in creating all these customizations.
Mm-hmm.
I think really, as a songwriter, for me, it's great because I come from a background of using a lot of tech programs.
Right,
so
right.
I'm really interested in interface, and it's the first thing I look at with plugins like
Right.
this is the interface intuitive to the way I want to work. And this is really great if you just want to be really customized, really intricate, And yeah, I love this 2-panel system. It's just really fantastic.
It's inviting, you know. It's a,
It
it's
is.
a 4K scalable GUI. You know, it doesn't have a bunch of blocks and knobs and stuff. I mean, it's basically very real-like, and
Yes.
it makes you want to go ahead and grab
Yep.
the knobs, and it'll
Yep.
interface perfectly with your controller as well.
Yes.
Automatic with our keylabs. Anyways, now let's get into the fun. What are we at next here? If we look at the advanced panel, this is where the fun really begins, okay? So if we're looking at the advanced panel, you can click the help button, okay? And this is what's going to tell you in every single DAW, whatever DAW that you're in, it's going to tell you exactly how to get into the synth and how to input your signal, as you can see here. On Logic, you just go to sidechain, and you have all these different inputs. I've got buses that I've created, and I can go straight directly to the buses, which I'll be doing now. Instrument tracks, inputs are your microphone inputs. I mean, audio, all your audio tracks in the whole DAW, in the whole project, I should say. And it's just cool. It's very cool. So I'll go ahead and get out of this here and show you kind of what's interesting about it. If we go to, let's see here, our bus, I want to show you what it does to the the vocal bus, okay, on her complete vocals. We'll go ahead and create a loop here. Yeah, and then hear what it sounds like. This is more of a lead signal, I believe. And we open up this vocoder, in which I have a preset called All I Ever Wanted from the vocal preset list, okay? I'm going to go ahead and bypass it first so we can listen to what it sounds like dry. Let's see here.
I guess I like the twisted plot we've created. I sacrifice it so you and I can.
Okay, so there's that. I'm going to go ahead and now activate this preset, and let's see what it sounds like.
I guess I like the twisted plot we've created. I sacrifice it so you and I can make it.
You turn it up.
I wrote the script so
See what it
that
sounds
we
like?
both could lay naked.
You can also adjust the shape of the vocoder too. We can,
EQ here.
yep,
I like taking out the mids sometimes,
yeah.
so it's more intelligible and not so dominant. See that?
Yeah. It also makes it much more round.
Much more round, right?
Yeah. And that's
Um,
important depending on the track you're working on too, is to really think about what kind of sound are you going for? Are you
Right.
are you looking for a thinner sound? Are you looking for something that's going, if you have music that's thin but you want to be more wide, you really have a lot of manipulation and control with these presets here. And what's great is that you can also, once you create your preset, is that you could just go to this three bar pull down up on the right here. On the left, excuse me, and you can save your preset as, which is fantastic, because then if I want to use that again for another part of the song, I can then activate that again. So.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's so many ways to save your presets and create categories and create your own parts in the list and really make it yours. Yeah. So let's see here. What else we got? I'd like to show a few other points as far as getting the voice signal input. If you look at the right here, you'll have pitch tracking, okay, which is basically getting the signal into the system and creating a melody, okay? So it's going to create and extract where the notes are and even in the drums, which I'm going to show you, which is incredible. And you can quantize, which is going to go to the semitones. It'll actually round out the melody to semitones. And kind of like a chromatic auto-tune in a sense, but just in a different way. Then you have your parametric EQ here. You've got your compressor controls to create a more of a in-your-face type sound. And yeah, let's get into it. Let's check it out here. So if I go to, for example, my next setup is going to be the MIDI keys and vocoder. What you can also do, okay, is if you see the piano here, I'm playing a piano within the signal of the sound of the template, right? Let's play that real quick. So with that, I moved those MIDI notes to a bottom vocoder, right? Now you can actually sing the notes with with the MIDI notes. So check it out. If I hit play,
I guess I like
go ahead and sing with
twisted
it.
plot we've created.
See, we got it.
I sacrifice it so you and I can make it.
Now, 1 second. Let me turn up the input here. 1 second. Voice. Try now. Go ahead and say something.
Check, 1, 2.
There we go.
I guess I like the twisted plot we've created. I sacrifice it so you and I can make it. I wrote the script so that we both could lay naked, like a toast-off-fish on a planet that's just been waiting. Inhale real slow, the air out here could be fatal. Blue lips, stiff hearts, don't sleep, not sure if we're safe yet. The sky.
And then you can also go in with that whenever you're tracking another vocoder on your main vocal, and you can change the shape if you want something that sounds wider or a little bit softer. You can go into our preset list. There's a ton of them. We used just the vocoder option for that one, correct?
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
So-
We can kind of switch it up and
Yeah.
showcase that as well. That's
Yeah.
right. But what I wanted to show here was that basically you can't go off the note. See, right now this vocoder is following the piano MIDI notes that I played on piano, and it's going to follow the same rhythm, the same timing, the same notes, and it's basically will lock you into that. So no matter what you do, it'll be following the template of the song, or the note of the song, the key of the song. Let's go back into the vocal bus and just show something really interesting, and change the preset. I want to show you just a couple more presets in here as well, just to show you what the vocals are all about. And we go to, let's see here, Don't Forget Me. Let's go to Don't Forget Me. Don't Forget Me. Okay, this is kind of a cool one. It has a reverbish type sound. Every single time you go into the synth, you want to go up to the top in the advanced panel and hit voice. This will activate the voice input and not the sample player, which we'll be getting into in a little bit. Okay, so go ahead and let's see if I pitch it now with the sound.
I could swallow us, but you couldn't care less. I'm here at the drive-in, watching just how it all ends. With pen in hand, you scribbled out something sacred, starving for something.
Let's go ahead and restart that. Widening that occurs.
Sacrifice it so you and I can make it.
Change the oscillators.
The script so
Create an FM.
Yeah, really, the options are limitless. You know, I mean, and even depending on the transmitter or the person carrying, you know, bringing to the carrier, everyone's harmonics are unique. So no matter how many variations you create, there's no limit to the possibilities.
You
So.
gotta shape it. You gotta shape your sound and find the tone that you want. Create your presets. So those things are fast and easy. The attack and release is also cool in the synth.
I guess I like the twisted plot we've created. I sacrifice it so you and I can make it. I wrote the script so that we.
Actually, if we could move that over here.
Yeah, I don't know why you're running.
I know, right? Thank you. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next one. I wanted to show you was French Countdown, another vocal template. I just want to show you all these different tones you can gather and maneuver through these presets. Okay.
I guess I like the twisted plot we've created. I sacrifice it so you and I can make it. I wrote the script so that we both could make it.
I think you're getting closer
Okay,
to that.
okay, nice, nice.
Lips and fonts don't sleep, not sure if we're sacred. The sky could swallow us, but you much and just how we all end.
Okay, very cool. That kind of sums up the vocal edits that we can do and kind of showcase that. I want to show something very, very interesting, which is the drums. Imagine if you push a drum bus through this vocoder. I'm going to show you what it sounds like in and of itself without the vocoder on first. Then we'll go ahead and add that. But check this out. Here's the drums. Now if I add the vocoder, it's going to find melodies within the drums. Okay, so if I go to advanced, make sure your voice is selected so that actually it's going to take an input into the system. Okay, let's see here.
That's really cool.
Live. There's another one if you go to the drums preset here, and you go to glitcher and pitcher. Okay. Let's go ahead and select that. Let's play. See what this sounds like. Go to voice.
Get some Nine Inch Nails vibes going today.
9 Inch Nails type stuff.
Yes.
In a touch of a button. I mean, I didn't even do anything. You know, pitch tracking just finds a melody and creates a whole different sound.
But I think what makes this vocoder collection so great is the sheer amount of harmonic intelligence within all the presets. So I think you're gonna have a lot of fun with this program. I feel like it's just really going to push your productions to the next level.
Yeah, it keeps it interesting. This is a whole new thing to add to your palette now. That's available to you to create a whole new. I'm sorry, drum bus with the vocoder. Pretty interesting, I must say. I don't know how they did that, but it's pretty incredible. All right, so now let's go ahead and check out the keys. I want to show what you can do on the keys, just to kind of show you a full-fledged. We got some time to kind of go through what you can get from these different synths, these different ideas that you can gather, and I want to be fully available for that. So let's just say, for example, I think it's this guy here. If I solo this and I play the keys, this piano, well, we can turn this piano into a vocoder in and of itself. Again, the piano sounds like this. Simple piano line, right? We can turn this into an entire. Oh, mute those for a second. We can turn these into an entire vocoder. Okay, so if I turn this vocoder on, it should take the input from the instrument 3, which see that? This is the vocoder preset. We can EQ it again, create more of a high end, create more of a high frequency here. Hiss.
This gives it
Turn
a
it
much
up.
softer. It's very nice.
So I can mute then the piano, and you can hear just the vocoder in itself. Play with the track.
That's nice that you could solo them out and hear them individually.
Solo them
That's
out.
fantastic.
V-bass. So a couple of presets involved with that. I'm going to go ahead and go to, let's see here, keys. V-bass is something that I liked with the keys. And as you can see here, one of the presets is being used on the patch bay. Okay, that's been created. So. sure you hit pitch. And I think that would sound good with some delay. So mind you, I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but you can go over here, add effects, get some delay here, and let's turn that up. There's 3 different parts in the effect. I'll get into that in a second. So we add some delay. Chorus. A reverb. You just created a pad at this point. So if I go back to voice, let's see here. I'm going to also add something from the string section. The strings preset called Kites Day. Let's see what that sounds like. Make sure you go back to voice, pitch tracking, play. I just want to touch on the gain and the threshold real quick. That's going to activate the vocoder as soon as you get into it. So as fast as you want the vocoder to hit and actually create that vocoder sound, you want the threshold to hit it at a certain level. I kind of keep it at -60, which is the default, but you can edit that as well to create even more variation in your tone.
Yeah.
And then let's go to let's see here, the sample player. Let's see here, sample player. This is something absolutely incredible. As if there wasn't enough in the vocal input. If you don't feel like singing or putting things together in real time, the sampler has a complete array of samples that you can play. You can import your own samples, such as this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up the, let's see here. Let's see here. Clear all. Vocoder preset. Okay, there's different samples available to you to choose from, right? We can play them and hear what they sound like. There's legato, which I'll explain that in a second. You can change the direction in which the samples are triggered, okay? There's cycle parameter and keyboard parameter, okay? Let's start with cycle, explaining cycle a little bit. What that's going to do is every time you press a key, it's going to fluctuate and change to the next sample over. So you can actually go in the play direction. You can go from left to right, from right to left. You can do shuffle mode, all these different modes in which you can find these samples. And if you go into here, I'm going to go ahead and play this a little bit on the piano in a second. Let's see here. You can go to browse. There's all these samples that you can choose from, okay? And I'll get into that in a second. But you can choose all these different types of samples. You can import your own right here into the system and throw them in there. Now, if you go to keyboard, for example, that's going to play a whole different playability type in the instrument, right? So if you see here, C1, C sharp, D1, D sharp 1, E1, F1, it kind of goes through those 12 slots that are available to you. In your left hand, you're choosing the samples that you're playing with the right hand. Okay, so you can play chords with your right hand. You can choose the samples from your left hand and you kind of get used to it. But once you get it, it's a whole new instrument. You know, and how you want to play it, I think, to really gather the performance aspect of it. Legato is really cool. Basically, if you go from one note to the next, it'll hold the note. You see where it has this line here? You can edit it as well, but it'll actually hold the note there before you go to the next sample.
Nice.
Yeah, or if you turn it off, it goes into mono mode, which will re-trigger the sample every time you actually hit the note. Okay, so if I go to legato, and I go to cycle, for example, and play something for you, I'm going to need to switch with Whitney here. And let's go to, let's see here. Right one, vocoder, MIDI keys, yes. Let's see what we got going on here.
Vocoder, generator, oscillator, synchronous, synthesizer, vocoder, generator, oscillator.
So as you can see there, hopefully you can hear that okay. You know, it's showing you what's possible with the chords and stuff like that. If I go to keyboard, you know, you select C1, it's not going to play anything, okay? You can see what it's doing there, but I'm going to play that with my right hand, which is the first sample. It's going to trigger the same thing. Go to the next one. I'm selecting it.
Synthesize.
It's just incredible. Of course, after that, you can go into, let's see here, you go into modulation. You can actually edit the envelope follower as well.
Synthesize.
And the aftertouch, the mod wheel creates your own assignments in the matrix, which is incredible as well. Of course, the effects, in which I was touching on a little bit earlier, you can, let's see, if you click on here, you have all these different effects to choose from. And it's pretty important to find and tune your sound and how you want it. You can compress it even further. You can compress the reverb and the delay if you're in series, for example, or you can go in independent, which everything will kind of coincide and kind of run alongside itself. Yeah, so that's basically that. We're pretty familiar with the 3 different engines, 3 different effect engines, I believe, going to voice, and that's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah, so we showed you kind of how it works, how you accept the signal, and how you play the samples, and how to shape your sound. That kind of concludes I think my whole demonstration to show you kind of what it sounds like. I hope you've been able to see what it does. You know?
And also you can kind of troubleshoot even your own process of working by either, like what we did today, by uploading your own track and applying some cool effects to an existing track, because sometimes there's just a song within another song and you can experiment that way, or you can do it live the way we just did it with the input, voice input in the beginning of the presentation. So you have a lot of options on how to use content you already have, or if you're creating brand new content. So I think that's really cool that it's not just, you know, something that I'm doing live. I can also use it as an effect applied to something that I have already created, which I really like that feature.
There's so much you can do with it. I mean, it's a whole full-fledged instrument. It's not just a vocoder, you know, where you're editing a live sound, which a lot of them, you know, kind of want you to do. A lot of vocoders are just, you got to play with as you're singing. Or, you know, this has so many different variations where you can do so many things with it.
Exactly. And it has memory too, so not only, you know, are you doing it live, but then you can save what you really liked and use that over and over again in different tracks, and then even tweak it from there. So it's a fantastic product.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying using it. It's fresh on the market, so I would definitely include it in your collection. I've been just...
Yeah, even just to create a fullness in the background of a vocal, it's crazy. I mean, it's just, if you don't want it to have a full, you know, robot type of tone or a tuning type of tone, you can create a variation of thickness behind your vocal.
Yes, and it makes a difference in a track. So say you need a little something, you know, you got your instrumentation down, you like the atmosphere, but you know, maybe the vocal just needs to rise a little bit up in the mix, it needs to float a little bit, or maybe you want to ground the track with something a little bit richer. So you have those options to manipulate those sounds.
Yeah, even if you want to add, if you didn't do as many harmonies as you expected to do.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you want to create another harmony, another tone behind your track. You can create other tones, you can create other chords and play other chords behind it, and it's a whole ensemble behind your vocal.
With a little bit of robot-esque.
With a little bit of robot-esque, if you want it. Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of mixing engineers these days do actually do that kind of stuff with in the mixing of the vocal. They want to have something that's like very behind that you can feel but you can't hear.
You can't hear it, exactly.
Right.
And that's a good way to use it, I think, if you want to be subtle. You know, if you want that usability in your track where you have a lot of options. If you don't want it to sound like a robot, you can add an extra little bit of thickness and softness to, you know, it could be any song, you know, it's just depending on how you mix it into your overall mix.
So. We showed how it was done, you know, so go ahead and play it back if you like to hear how it sounds, you know, and once again, there's an intro price up until January 10th for the whole V Collection 8. And it's 28 instruments, including that new emulator 2, I mean, the Juno 6 and a lot of other things as well. A whole new analog lab that are involved with this synth as well that you can open up. So let's go ahead and go to the Q&A and see if we have any cool questions we can answer. Let me take a look into, let's see here. Second, guys, just trying to remember where I put the link to the questions. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, any chance on having creative use on the vocoder and guitar, for example, instead of a vocal? Yes, you can. You can use any signal as an input. I didn't try that yet here, but that would be pretty amazing, right?
That would be incredible.
I haven't tried that yet, you know. I've pretty much, I'm mainly a keyboard player, you know, and so I haven't had a guitarist at my disposal to really try it out with. But I mean, if you can hear what it did with the vocals, you can mute the guitar if you were to play the guitar and play the instrument as a vocoder by itself, or use it to thicken up the guitar and give it this robotic voice. I mean, you can see how it's done within this this parameter here.
And the fact that it's all in one, it's all built in. You can bring all your instruments into this one program and attach that preset, so you don't have to do it externally somewhere else. So that's.
And there's tons of presets to choose from. You know. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Is a modular input dependent upon the sidechain input? Well, when you use it as a regular vocoder, yes. So you want it to sidechain, but you can also use an integrated sample to play samples directly from the software. No routing needed in this case. So yeah, I hope that helps you out on that question. Let's see what else we got. What audio card do you use? We're using the AudioFuse Studio right now. My favorite interface, it's of course I'm biased because it is Arturia's, but it's I mean, I've used everything underneath the sun, and this thing is absolutely incredible. The sound quality is insane. The easeability, the amount of routing you can do. It's like a little professional I/O console, all in one device. I recommend checking it out. It has Bluetooth interface as well for routing just backing tracks. You can import Bluetooth into the DAW from in and of itself as well. Let's see what else we got. I could talk about that forever. Can we play strings with it? Yes, you can play strings with it. There's actually a string preset available to you, and you can encompass anything with it as well, any kind of preset. But yeah, you can do strings. You can play with it with strings. You can affect it after the fact, of course, as we showed.
Yep. Yep.
Right. Let's see here. Question 5. Is that all we got? I guess I answered all the questions. I guess we kind of demonstrated everything we needed to demonstrate. I mean,
can they leave questions in the comment box?
Yeah, leave questions in the comment box. We'll answer them as well. I hope it sounded correct in the live stream. I hope you got a good amount of information from us. Me and Whitney Tyler. Again, I'm Ian Martinez with Arturia, and it's been a pleasure to show you guys how this all works. It really has. Okay, well, thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and run us out with the track here. You guys can hear the whole song without the vocoders by itself. Mute these guys here and play the track from the start. Why not? One second.
They don't want to leave yet.
I know.
They're like, don't stop.
I guess I like the twisted plot we've created. I sacrifice shit so you and I can make it. I wrote the script so that we both could lay naked, like two starfish on a
For the questions in.
Okay.
There should be some more questions possibly. Let's see.
Inhale real slow, the air out here could be fatal. Follow us, but you couldn't care less. I'm here at the drive-in, watching just how it all ends.
Oh my God.
Nice.
This is like perfect visuals too. Where are the starfish though? They should be on.
Starving for
Right.
something more than just surface data. Messed up on a love, edited right down to the pavement. I guess I like the twisted plot we've created. I sacrifice shit so you and I can make it. I wrote the script so that we both could lay naked, like two starfish on a planet that's just been braided. Inhale real slow, the air out here could be fatal. Blue lips, still thoughts don't sleep, not sure if we're safe yet. The sky could swallow us, but you couldn't care less. I'm here at the track.
That pretty much concludes us. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. It takes about a year and a half. Another question came up where how long it takes to actually create an instrument like this. It takes about a year and a half to cultivate the instrument. You know, so a lot of work goes into these things, as you can tell, from every nuance, from every signal. Okay, well, thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Cool.
Cool.